and welcome to the first of a brand new series called Style Up, where I am taking you into my closet and styling up different items, showing you different ways that you can wear them, and answering a lot of the very frequently asked questions I get. So for our very first episode today of Style Up, I am going to be teaching you how to style scarves. This is a question I get all the time, and I think it's easy to get confused when you're doing a scarf about which way's up and which way's down, and does this really look good on me? So I'm going to take you through 3 different types of scarves and show you how you can incorporate them into an outfit, hopefully in a new way. So first off, we're going to do the silk scarf first. This one I think can be a little confusing for people, but it is synonymous with chic, elegant outfits. And I think there is a space in just about everyone's closet for a silk scarf. I think it's a good item to have on hand. So the obvious way, and the way that I think most people wear these, is tied like an ascot around the neck. You know, this is what we think of in terms of like 1950s, 60s styles when this was very popular. So like that, right? The problem is sometimes this can look a little costumey. And for me personally, it does often end up being a lot of thick scarf on my little neck. I have a shorter neck, so that's something to think about as well in terms of how you wear scarves. I'll be talking a little bit more about that as we go on. So another way to tie a silk scarf like this, by the way, I'll just fold this back up for you. This is a square scarf. It's about this big. A lot of silk scarves are bigger than this. They'll sometimes be, a big square about that big, and you can tie those a little bit differently. The scarf I'm going to show you next, you can tie them like that, but we'll focus on this smaller square right now. So how I had it folded was, it's easier if you do it on a flat surface like a bed or something, but basically I just had it rolled up with the, diamond wise. But I'll do it this way and just do it on front of me. So another thing about silk scarves, I'll show you that other way to tie it around my neck, but another thing to think about is using them not on your body. So putting them in your hair or on a purse, somehow incorporating it into your outfit that doesn't have to be literally around your neck. That's one of the reasons why silk scarves are so cool. So I've got it wrapped up now. See, the ends are on points. That's another thing you always want to make sure with scarves, is that the ends are the pointy ends. And then I'm going to put it around my neck, and instead of tying it up here, I'm going to tie it in the front like a little tie, like I am. What, do Boy Scouts do this? I don't even know. I didn't have a brother growing up. I wasn't even in Girl Scouts, so I don't know. But I have it tied like a little tie. I think what's nice about this type of tie is that it's a V shape, and anything that goes V shape on the body is going to, elongate or add volume up above. Suddenly my words are failing me. And slim below. So if you are busty, or if you're quite broad-shouldered and you feel like this is the most prominent part of your body, instead of tying a scarf up here that adds more volume up there, you may want to do something that breaks up the top of your silhouette, gives you a little bit of a more streamlined effect on the upper body. So what I'm going to do, because this is fine, but the scarf seems a little lost, right? I'm going to add a jacket. So I've got a white blazer here. It's pretty oversized, but it's going to play off the lighter tones in this. I'll pull out my sleeves. So suddenly this feels a little bit more purposeful, and a silk scarf makes a lot of sense with a blazer. So now, if you want to see this full look, I have a scarf that pulls dark tones out of the sweater, light tones out of the jacket, and it makes sense, right? So that's one way you can do it. Another thing you can do with silk scarves is obviously put them on the handle of a bag. I'm not going to show you that right now. You get what I mean. But you could also tie it in your hair. I know this can be a bit of a youthful more junior type style, but if you do it long, that's probably your best bet. And then the other thing is, I would say stay away from a super long scarf if your hair is pretty short. So this one goes just past where my actual hair is, which I think is a decent proportion, but if your ponytail's up here and then the scarf is way down here, you're gonna end up with a bit of a disproportionate feel. So I wouldn't recommend that. But you can always tie it around a bun. That's another thing too, and that's a little bit more ageless. So if your hair is in a bun, what I mean is just wrap it around enough times and then make a tiny knot, you know, only about like that big or so, like that big or something, around your hair. And that's also a chic way to add a silk scarf into your look. What I do like about them is just like this right here. If it didn't have a scarf, it's just black and white. Dare I say, a little boring. But this adds in a little bit of print, a little bit of depth of color, and it's even better if your scarf is in a color that really brightens up your face. Adding something with a little bit of print next to the face breaks that up. Or like I said, if this was in a bright color that looked great on me, something super saturated, that would also pop. So the same could be done with your wardrobe. Let me show you the next scarf. This one is a type of scarf I think most people have, which is why I wanted to add it to the bunch. This is not actually my scarf. I did borrow this from someone, but it's just a light gauzy material, up and down, about a normal width. I'm gonna go ahead and take this off. And I'll show you how most people typically tie this scarf. And this is a question I get a lot in client appointments, especially closet edits, when we're looking at people's scarf collection, and they say, well, I have these beautiful scarves. Some of them came from my travels, but I don't know how to style them, or I never wear them because I never think to add them to my outfits. So most people would probably do it like this. You know, that's typically how you'd see it. Sometimes people do tight, or like this. What is wrong with this? Well, nothing inherently, but I wouldn't say it's the most stylish way to wear this scarf. And what I talk about with a lot of my clients is going one level up from where they've been. So I would say this is baseline. This is baseline. I put on a scarf. I added some print to my outfit. But what it does is often throughout the day, you know, it sort of falls as it falls. And it creates a line right here. And I talk a lot about dressing in thirds versus dressing 50-50. So right now, especially because I have this sweater on that's out, my outfit is very 50-50, right? So this scarf is actually contributing to that effect. And we want to break that up and create a little bit more dimension on the body. The other thing that can be problematic, I'm not super busty, so you're not gonna notice this as much, but if you are, and you've ever worn a scarf like this and didn't like the way it spread out over your chest or cascaded over your chest and created a space in between, this is going to solve that for you. So take your scarves like this, even if they're bigger, if they're huge, you know, you can do this. This one's a decent size, so it's about that long or wide, and then I can't fully show you how long it is, but open it up all the way. So I've got it open all the way, and you're gonna take the top corners. You can see that. So just the little corner edges, and you're going to wrap them around your neck, and you're going to cross them and pull like a bib. You're going to, oh, I've lost it. There we go. So you're gonna bring those around. I do like to pull this all the way tight and then pull it up my neck. I think that looks really great. You can loosen it a little bit if you need more space between your face and your neck, but let's pull that tight again because I think it looks really chic. So there, I have it all the way tight, and what we've started to see happening is we have all this beautiful fabric that's sort of cascading and flowing down the front. Remember before how we had those chopped off lines right here? Now the end of the scarf is on a diagonal, so it comes to a point. Anything that's on a diagonal, whether it's a V shape or a cross body bag, whatever it is, it's going to break up your silhouette in a really nice way. So it's always a good choice. And then now we also have these little 3 points. They look great. So even though this adds a lot of volume over the chest, anyone, including if you're busty or have broader shoulders, can do this. For me, I have a pretty proportional silhouette, so whatever I do on top, I always do on the bottom. So I actually have a chunkier sneaker on with this, which to me balances out the fact that I put a bunch of volume right up by my face. If I had on a really narrow shoe or something that really elongated my line, I might start looking like I'm broader on top than I am on the bottom. So just keep in mind your own body shape and proportions and think about where you need to balance. If you are curvier through the hip, this type of scarf is always going to balance you out really nicely. It's going to add that volume up top that sometimes you may find you need in order to have a balanced, proportional outfit. So I'm going to take this to the next level because this is Style Up. That's the series, Style Up. And I'm going to add a coat. So often we think of wearing scarves in the winter, right? So if it's fall, if it's winter, you can add a coat over when you wear a scarf like this. And I love the way it cascades. And if you put it over, it just adds such a nice element, print, color. I mean, this is a black coat on a black sweater. It couldn't be more basic, but we've added in this bright blue scarf and suddenly it comes alive. It feels very purposeful. Here's the full look. You could do this with any kind of jacket or coat, especially one that's long. If you are working in person right now and you have a business dress code, this would look fabulous with a blouse and slacks and a jacket or a blazer, perhaps like a wool coat. This would be fabulous. So really quickly, I'm going to show you the last scarf after this one. And this one's going to be a little bit more of the warm variety. So this is a blanket scarf. Some blanket scarves are definitely thicker than this one. This one's a little bit thinner, which I find more helpful. If you're working with a scarf that's super thick, they can be more difficult to style. This one is long and wide. It's about similar to the last one that I was working with, but I think it is a little bit wider. What I would do with this one, there's two things you could do. You could take it from one corner, put it down. So this is not something I've showed you yet. You're just making sure the scarf stays on the diagonal. And if you're wearing a coat over it, you could just wear this out and long. In fact, let me just grab a jacket for you to see. I'll do some double denim. If you're wearing a long coat, this would be excellent because the scarf is so long. But you'll see here, you could just wear it out. But what's even better is we're going to do the same thing actually that we did with the last one, which is take it long ways, open it up all the way, and I'm going to take the corner, top corner of each side, bring it around my neck and pull up like it's a bib. I purposefully put my hair in a ponytail today so I could do all of this without getting hair in my face. And we're just gonna bring these around to the front. So I like that this scarf has blue tones and a few pinks in it. It looks great with the blue jacket because it becomes a little bit of a tonal look, different tones of the same color. So I'm gonna pull it out from my neck a little bit. The last one I pulled tight, but this one I'll give a little bit of space. And now we have this beautiful scarf on a diagonal. We have lots of volume, but it lays nicely on the chest instead of being like two independent ends that could pop out or get stuck on your boob or whatever. So I far prefer this. What is nice about this is you can also tie the lengths. So if you were doing this with a large silk square scarf, I would suggest tying it. I would maybe make it slightly shorter since I'm going to tie these. And you can just do a little knot. So that adds just a little bit more interest and something else that you can add to your scarf look. So if you have requests for the next Style Up video, whatever you'd like me to show you examples of, create outfits, and tell you why they might work for you, let me know in the comments, and also let me know if you like this series. I'm excited to do a little bit more using my own clothes and showing you other ways that you can take your outfits to the next level.